Welcome back to AM Northwest. You know, a lot of us have pie crusts around during the holiday season, and that makes for a delicious dough for Thanksgiving cookies. Here to share a recipe from the Kitchen Shortcut Bible, we welcome back the co-authors of nearly 40, yep, I said 40 cookbooks, Bruce Weinstein and Mark Scarbrough. Good to see you guys again.
Hey, Helen. Good to see you.
Hi, Helen. How are you?
Good. All right, so tell us about this, because a lot of us do have in our freezer some pie crust.
I know. I love this stuff. It's right in the refrigerator. You unroll it. It makes cookies easy because you don't have to make the dough.
Right.
We're just going to make a filling, right, Mark?
So these are the pinwheel cookies we're making. We're making kind of pinwheel cookies using this purchased pie dough. And let me say that to do this recipe right, if you're going to go out and buy pie dough, you don't want the kind in the tube. You want the kind that comes in the box. So that's what you're looking for the right kind.
Because you want it to unroll. Now,
right.
The only thing about these pies are round, right? Well,
yeah.
Pie crusts are round. And if you're going to roll this up, you kind of want it to be somewhat squared. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut off the round parts on all four sides.
Okay.
And then I'm going to sort of...
We're not going to waste it.
No.
This is the kicker.
Yes, it's easy to say, okay, these are my straight sides now. But watch this. I'm just going to wet this, turn this around, and now I make it a little bit wider. And it's still square.
Look at that. Okay.
And I'm going to do that on all the sides. So it doesn't have to be perfect.
Not exactly.
Right.
I don't want it perfect. I just want to have square edges instead of round. And I didn't want to waste it. And plus, it got to be a little bit bigger.
Right.
And let me say something else about working with pre-purchased crust before we talk about the filling. It's best if you let this sit at a room temperature. Pre-processed crusts are kind of fragile.
Yeah, very soft. They get really soft.
Yeah.
And but they're also fragile when they're cold.
Oh yeah, when they're cold, they can break apart.
Yeah.
So you must let them sit at room temperature so they soften up. Otherwise, when you try and unroll them, they'll break.
Yeah, done that.
Not what you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to make this really simple holiday filling. You have the recipe for your website, but here's how it goes. We're going to take some walnut pieces, and then I'm going to take dried cranberries. I actually found dried cranberries without sugar added, but you can use the standard ones too. And then this is kind of the weird kick ingredient. I've got ginger jam here. So
ginger jam?
Yeah, you can find it in your supermarket. Sometimes it's with the regular jams. Our supermarket actually has a section of British food, and that's where it is. It's so weird.
So I know if it's in rural New England, it's anywhere. So it is in the Brit food in our local supermarket. But ginger jam, and then I've got some used to be melted, but now is kind of melted butter. It was melted butter.
And now, as long as it's softened, it'll work.
Right.
It's a food processor.
And I've got some brown sugar, and then I've got ground ginger and salt to add to this mix. And this is my filling. It's a really easy, just put it together filling in a food processor. And what I want to do is I want to chop this out without making mush.
Oh, okay. So that
you want to keep bits of it, right? You don't want it to be a puree.
Right. Gotcha.
And, it's just so holiday. The cranberries, the ginger, it's so good. Now, I'm going to take this filling he made.
Okay.
As Mark breaks the food processor.
I hate tools.
And I'm going to dump it out onto this dough.
Okay.
Never work with children, pets, or tools. That's just the rule.
Now, wet fingers make this a little easier, right?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Because if my fingers weren't wet, it would be sticking to this. And you want to spread it out, as evenly as you can, but it doesn't have to be perfect.
You can see, again, this is kind of chunky. That's the point.
It is.
Kind of a textural
bit
going inside. I mean, we could just line these things with jam, but this gives us a better texture and a lot of holiday flavor in it.
Now the fun part, we roll it up. Just like you're going to make any kind of jelly roll.
Right.
Or if I was making rugelach. And look at that. Now I want to wet the edge to make sure that it's sealed.
Listen to that New Yorker say rugelach.
What is that? I don't know what
rugelach is. It's a Jewish Eastern European cookie it's kind of like this with a cream cheese dough and a filling of jam and nuts.
Oh,
They're
you know what? I do know what you.
super diet focus. Cream cheese dough.
It is your
Gotcha.
eat some rugula. It's your window to weight gain.
Yeah,
It is-
gotcha.
All right. So now I'm going to brush this whole thing with egg so it gets a little shine and a little brown.
Oh, good idea. Okay.
And this is fun because now I'm going to try and cut it when it's all slippery with egg, which is always fun. And I'm going to cut this into 10 pieces, right? Give or take. 1, 2,
Yeah.
3. I mean, I'm going for about 3/4 of an inch to an inch.
Yeah.
Again, nothing has to be exact here. This isn't brain surgery. It's
Right.
just crisp cookies. I think I got more.
I think that's a rule for life. This is not brain
Now,
surgery.
I'm putting them on a lined baking sheet. It's really important that your sheet is lined because all of that sugar and butter and stuff is going to leak, and you don't want it sticking. So
Right.
if you look at the bottom of one of these, it's got a beautiful, beautiful sort of glaze
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And that's from all the sugar that leaked out, and that's a really nice thing. So I'm putting them cut side
okay,
up.
so can I get a word?
Oh,
in this,
please.
So
It's the holidays.
is it? Yeah, these things also, I should tell you, really freeze well.
Yeah.
All right, so you can make these weeks in advance. You can reheat them on a baking sheet in a slow, 250-degree oven if you want them a little warm for the fireplace.
Right.
In the days. But they freeze like magic. I've had these things in the freezer for 6 months and pulled them out, and they're just fine.
When they come out of the oven, it's a really nice trick when they're still warm to brush the tops with a little maple syrup or even a little honey. It melts in there,
Oh.
and it gives a little extra bit of glaze, and they are absolutely one of my favorite
But you
things
don't want to glaze them before they go
No,
in the oven.
after they come out.
When they come out.
After they gotcha. Oh, I can't wait to try this recipe. Bruce and Mark, thank you both so much. That was excellent.
Ah, it's our
Thank you,
pleasure.
Helen.
Thank you. And again, remember the Kitchen Shortcut Bible and then the over 40 books that you've got out there. Crazy. All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away. Thanks, you guys.